All right, everybody, so we are doing a valve cover gasket replacement on a 2007 Honda Odyssey Touring model. We've already got the front done. The back valve cover gasket is off. Spark plugs are coming out, as you can see. Now follow along with me, and let's talk about the valve cover itself. So as you can see, the gasket is about ready to come out. It's pretty loose in there, but if you'll notice, these little boots for the coil pack, these coil packs come in through here, go down to the spark plugs, and then these little rubber O-rings make a seal around the post of the coil. Now, I don't know how old these are. The van that we are doing the valve cover gasket replacement on is 240,000 miles. So as you might imagine, these bad boys were locked in to their little home very tightly. They were I don't know if you can see this here. There's a piece of it, but this is essentially a rubber O-ring that has now turned into a hard plastic. So it's very difficult to get these out of here. A lot of the videos that I've seen in looking up how the best way to get this done were showing using a flat bladed screwdriver, a straight slot screwdriver, and a mallet of some type to kind of beat around it, beat down into the edge down there at the bottom, and get up underneath it, and then just try to pry it out. That's the method that we did on the first valve cover, and it was successful, did its job. Worked as you would hope that beating on something with a flat bladed screwdriver and a mallet would work. We got everything out, got the new ones in, everything looks good. However, on the second one, these were rock hard. I mean, just like a hard plastic, like they were formed. The shape that they had taken around the coil cylinder was the shape of these gaskets. It was not, there was no flexibility in these things at all. They were completely rigid, like hardened plastic after years of being in the back of the engine and heat and all the things that go along with being on the back side of an engine in an engine compartment. And so everything was real rigid, real tough, and it just didn't want to let anything get underneath there. So what I ended up doing, and not really sure why the idea hit me when it did, but what I ended up doing was introducing a hot air gun into the mix. And I heated these bad boys up, and I just let them get hot. I mean, the oil around it was smoking out. They were melting. Some of the rubber was beginning to melt and bubble and boil. And so they were getting very warm. With that in mind, once they got very hot, I would take the flat bladed screwdriver, get it up underneath the edge, and pry down on the far side from it, like so. Let me see. Essentially using, sorry, I put my flat bladed screwdriver away, but essentially I would get up underneath there with this, and once it got real hot, I would get the edge of the blade underneath there and then just pry up, and these came right out completely intact. As you can see, other than the top portion that kind of melted away, the seals are 100% intact. I could try to find pieces from the original ones that came out, but we did that on all three of them. They pried right out. As you can see, the seals are completely intact at the bottom part down from inside the hole. And so heating these, each of the little pods up individually multiple times, 3 times to get it done. There's 6-cylinder engine, so 3 cylinders here, the 3 in the front are already done. Just heat these up, and I just until the oil quit smoking was about when it was hot enough. I could get the blade underneath there and then just pry them up, and they'd come right out. Now, it wasn't easy, but they would pry just gently, steady pressure, and then they would just pop right out of there, and that would be the end of that. So let's go over here and we'll see. You can see from the first ones that we did, the pieces, they eventually came out, but you can see the difference in how warped these are, how bent they are, how much more of the rubber is missing off of these. You can go out here out in the sunlight where you can see it a little bit better, and you can see just how much damage was done to these, and you can see the warp in the base of the seal, how bent they are, trying to get them out without heating them up versus heating them up, where the top part is, you know, a little bit destroyed. Nothing too surprising there, considering it's a thin rubber that had turned into a hard plastic. Clearly that did not survive too well. But if you look at the difference in the way these seals came out of there, they're still hold their shape, and aside from being far too old to go back in there, are in reasonably good condition at the base. So they came out just 100 times easier by heating up versus by just manual forbearance alone. Just the literal actual pressure to get these things out of here, just, you can see it tweaked them. Some of them are broken. You can see how it chewed up the inner pieces of that, trying to get the screwdriver in there to get it out of there. You can see, if you look in here, I can't show you the front valve cover because it's off anymore, but if you look in here, you can kind of see that there's no real scoring, except on the first one right there in the bottom. You can see it right there. You can see there's a little bit of scratching in the surface, which is irrelevant. The seal does not seal or make contact there to keep oil out. All of the seals are on the side and then around the coil pack itself. So you can see that other than the first one that I tried to do without heating it before I started to heat it up, there's a little bit of scoring. But on the ones where I heated it up first and got them out of there, you can see all the surfaces are clean, other than dirty from the age and the oil and all of the little bits of rubber that have fallen in there when I take those out. But that's it, guys. That's a super quick and easy way to get those seals out of their seats easily and with considerable less force and time necessary to do it. It probably took me, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes to get all 3 of these out of here once I heated them up, versus the first round that we did. It probably took us a solid 30 to 45 minutes to get those out of there, trying to beat them out. So that's your tip of the day, guys. If you got to get those valve seals out on a 2007 or for an 05 to 010 or 05 to 2010 Odyssey, a heat gun, that's your secret. That's your tip of the day. All right, thanks everybody. Enjoy.